Hello and welcome to another episode of Tales of Middle-earth, the series in which we explore stories and locations unrelated to our journey in Citadel Guard Adventures. I am Beriathan of the Citadel Guard of Gondor, and today we are back at the Harvestmath festival. There are still a couple things left for us to do in here. Garlips is saying hello, and before we begin, let us pick the Spirited Harvest quest from Rosa Hornblower. And with that out of the way, what we're gonna do is actually talk Bingo Boffin once again, because today we're doing the second part of his Harvest questline, and that is the Curse of the Eerie Acres. Where has the time gone, Beriathan? It feels as if we were just discussing the strange apparition you saw in the Bindwell Wood, but the year of which it spoke has already come and gone. I fully intend to spend the time researching the phantom's words, but each day was too full of chores and errands and visits, and don't you know it, here we are again, and no closer to solving the mystery. What did the apparition say? Ah, here it is, I wrote it down. There can be no reparations for the hurt that has been done. In 1 year, all will fear the parting of the wood. None will escape the curse of the Eerie Acres. Despair and repair to your holes, for none but one will laugh when all is done. Brrr. It still gives me the chills. Well, we will not forget those words, and I recommend that you keep your eyes open as we participate in the Harvest Festival this year. If you see anything at all that seems to relate to this curse, come see me at once. Wallare Goldworthy has opened a new field of festival games for the Harvest Festival this year, at a place called Wistmead. I have seen nothing to indicate that he knows anything about the apparition or this worrisome curse, so we should go to Wistmead and have some fun. But I will keep on the lookout for anything suspicious, and you should as well. There is a pony to Wistmead, just to the east and up the slope. I'll meet you there, and hopefully Wistmead will have plenty of spooky fun and very little in the way of scary curses. Very well, so let us take the quest. And take the pony now to Wistmead. I just love how they expanded the Harvest Festival with this, and now you have the Haunted Borough and Wistmead, and both locations have their own flavor, their own atmosphere, but both of them go very well with the spirit of the season. Bingo waves you nearer, but he is clearly suspicious of this place. I must say, Wallare Goldworthy has done quite a nice job of creating a spooky atmosphere for the Harvest Festival here at Wistmead. This is where we should have told our scary stories in the first place, Beriathan. Can't you imagine what Dinodas might have done if we tried scaring here instead? Even the least frightening story might be more convincing when told in this atmosphere. I encourage you to find my various cousins, the lot of them once removed, and see what they think of the games here in Wistmead, but do not forget to remain alert for any suspicious activities. There may be an apparition on hand seeking to conduct some nefarious purpose, and if this curse of his is real, we want to know about it in time to prevent it from being carried out. Even so, try to have fun anyway, Beriathan. It would be a shame to spoil all of Mr. Goldworthy's work with an excess of caution and worry. Wistmead really does seem like a fitting location for spooky fun after all. I saw Angelica making a beeline for the ponies to the northwest, and Verlac mentioned something about taking a snooze near the maze. Find them first and see what they think of Wistmead. Okay, so these two guys. The relic is over here. Well, both these hobbits are near the Wit Maze, and we'll get a chance to talk about it on another episode, I guess. Oh, it's you, Beriathan. I came with my brothers and sisters to Wistmead, but I am quite ready to leave. I was promised Harvest Festival fun, but this does not seem terribly enjoyable to me. All I want to do is to curl up here outside of this maze and take a restful nap, but I have not been able to get comfortable. There is just something about this place that keeps me awake, and that is most unusual. Why, I would say it is a first. I will keep trying. Are my siblings having a better time than I am? I hope so, but above all, I just wish I could take a nap. This is usually not a problem. Okay, the first warning sign that something is not totally right in here. Hello there, Beriathan. Will you look at these beautiful ponies? Aren't they simply delightful? I understand that Carl Proudfoot has loaned them to Wallary Goldworthy for the duration of the Harvest Festival, and they have been painted with these frightening but adorable designs. If I did not love horses and ponies as much as I do, I might be quite chill to see them, but I do and I am not. I am having a lovely time here in Wistmead, and everything scary I have seen seems to be on purpose, Beriathan. Cousin Bingo's curse must have nothing to do with this place after all, and he likely worries for nothing. I will stay here with the ponies. Everything seems fine to me. Okay, now... Okay. Amelia Boffin, alright. She's over there, actually. My bad. Welcome to Wistmead, Beriathan. I spoke with Wallary Goldworthy earlier, and he told me that it took quite a long time to clear this field and prepare it for the new Harvest Festival activities. I am very glad he took the time, because the spooky atmosphere here cannot be matched by anywhere in the Shire, and everyone is having a wonderful time. Naturally, I asked if there was anything that still needed to be done, and it turns out there are still some big goods waiting to be set out on these tables. Could you go pick up one of Holy's pies from the tents on the other side of the field? Amelia lowers her voice conspirationally. I must warn you about something, Beriathan. The pie filling has been fashioned with blackberries and currants, and should be delicious, but Holy Hornblower has made it look as if the pies are filled with creepy crawlies and spiders. A number of hungry hobbits may try to get in your way, but give them a good look at the pie and they will surely leave you alone. Alright, so it seems that Holy Hornblower has improved on his pie baking skills. After all. Where? Oh, okay, here are the pies. And since they don't look that delicious to begin with, we don't need to worry about hungry hobbits. Which is great. Amelia thanks you for the pie, but Griffo eyes it with distaste. I thought Wistmead was going to be full of fun activities and delicious food, Beriathan, but it seems I was mistaken. I want nothing more than to dig into one of these pies, because the pie crust is golden brown the way I like it, and the smell makes my mouth water. But on closer inspection you can plainly see that the pies are filled with spiders. It is an affront to good taste. I do not understand why folks still buy pies from Holy Hornblower, honestly. I am not enjoying my time in Wistmead, Beriathan. I am just so hungry and I do not like that feeling. If you want to find someone who is having a good time, perhaps you should find Marigold. I expect she is enjoying herself, because it is dark and a little scary. I saw her looking at the misty woods on the other side of the field, and she might still be there. I will try and rummage up some edible food. Wish me luck, because I am not eating one of those spider pies, no matter how delicious it might smell. Can't fool me. Alright, so let us go talk to Marigold Boffin. Once again, I really enjoy the atmosphere here in Wistmead. Especially like how they took some of the game's most memorable tracks and gave them this kind of spooky spin to them. It sounds really nice. Marigold Boffin stands by a fog-enshrouded path on the edge of Wistmead. Ah, Beriathan, how are you finding Wistmead? I am not especially interested in the Harvest Festival activities that Wallary Goldworthy has set up here, but I am very curious to know where this path leads. The fog hangs thickly all about the trail, and the darkness seems almost to pull among the trees. It feels like adventure to me. Cousin Bingo made me promise to stay in Wistmead, or he would tell my mother and she would be very cross. So for now, I should not follow this misty path. You made no such promise, did you? You should walk along the path and see where it leads, and then come back and tell me what you saw. That is a capital idea, is it not? I'll be waiting for your report, my friend. That was quick. You walk along the path for a time, but the fog is very thick and you may have gotten turned around. Yeah, we weren't able to go very far. Let us go back to Marigold and tell her, yeah, we couldn't go very far, indeed. Beriathan, how did you get back here without me seeing you? You got turned around in the woods. This must not be ordinary fog after all, but a magical and mysterious mist that lends itself to confusing even the most perceptive of adventurers. How delightful! I will do some thinking and see if I can come up with some means of countering this curious canopy of cloud. For now, you should return to Bingo and tell him that I am having a great time. Spooky mysteries abound. I like Marigold. I like your spirit. And here is Bingo. The longer we stay here, the more worried I become, Beriathan. How do my cousins feel about Wistmead? You tell Bingo that Angelica, Camellia, and Marigold seem to be enjoying themselves, for various reasons, but that Verlac and Griffo do not seem to be having as fine a time. At least some of my cousins are enjoying the Harvest Festival here, even if that cannot be said for all of them. I suppose this cannot be the curse at work, unless it is a curse that has chosen to mildly inconvenience a few hobbits, which seems unlikely, unlike any curse of which I've heard. Curse or no, I still wish more of my cousins were having a good time. Perhaps I am making a great mountain from a Shrewsbury, Beriathan, but that apparition you saw in the Bindwell Wood has me all aflutter with worry. What if the curse of which it spoke is just around the corner, and it waits to level its full effect upon the hobbits celebrating the Harvest Festival here at Wistmead? Do you think you might speak with Wallach Woolworthy in front of the maze, and ask him if he encountered any difficulties while setting up the festivities here? I hope I am just being silly. I will not be able to enjoy the games here at Wistmead until I set my mind at ease, and right now it's all a puzzle with spooks and scary shenanigans. But not in a good way. Okay, so Wallach is over here. He also has a little quest line, like, well, not quest line, but quest that you need to complete in order to unlock all the other activities here in Wistmead, but we'll do that another time. Yes, what do you want? If you are here to complain, I do not want to hear about it. I have listened to more than my share of grumbles today, and my temper is at its lowest ebb. Move along, you! You try to set Wallach at ease by telling him that several of the hobbits with whom you have spoken seem to be thoroughly enjoying the festival at Wistmead, and he softens somewhat. When he seems less annoyed, you ask him about the process by which Wistmead was made ready for the activities and games of the Harvest Festival. Ah yes, well, it was quite a lot of work, so I am pleased there are some who have enjoyed the games here. I put together a team from Hobbiton and from Bywater, and for the better part of a fortnight we worked to clear the field of stones and stumps. We had to move a few fences. Hobbits might once have lived among the trees here, because we also moved one or two low walls that could have belonged to hobbit homes, although the houses themselves are long gone. If you want to see how much work we put in, you can take a look at the junk pile where we moved everything. It is to the southwest across the main path that runs through Wistmead. And enjoy yourself. I would not have put so much work into this if I did not love the spooky season so much. Well, that's very considerate of you, Wallach. So let us check. Okay. This is what we need to check. A face-down wooden sign among the debris catches your eye. You turn over the sign, revealing words that chill you to the bone. And that is... Eerie Acres. Take a look. Clearest Acres is carved on the sign, but it's crossed out and Eerie Acres is scrolled instead. Now that's a really cool mystery to solve now. So let us go back to Bingo and tell him what we found. You look as if you've seen a ghost, Beriathan. Another one, I mean? You haven't, have you? You tell Bingo that Wularic Goldworthy cleared away several fences, stones, and wooden structures when he prepared the field of Wistmead for the Harvest Festival, removing the debris to a junk pile. You go on to describe the wooden sign you found among the trash. What's that? You say there was a sign for Eerie Acres, but someone had crossed that out and painted the words Eerie Acres on top. But that means... It's just as I feared, Beriathan. This field may be called Wistmead now, but at some point in its history it must have been called Eerie Acres. We have wandered right into the waiting jaws of the course. You have to tell Wularic that we may be in danger. He has to cancel the celebrations here, and at once. I don't think Wularic's gonna like that idea. He put a lot of work into this. Cancel the Harvest Festival? Absolutely not. Why should I do that? You tell Wularic Goldworthy that a malevolent force has declared that no one in the Shire will escape the curse of the Eerie Acres, and you have found proof that Wistmead was once known by a name. He snorts with disbelief. What nonsense! I know the sign of which you speak. It stood by the western path out of the clearing and has not been thought of by anyone for a very long time. No one objected when we pulled it from the ground and tossed it aside, did they? This whole place has been uninhabited for dozens of years at least. Beriathan, and no hobbits have called this place Eerie Acres since then, take my word on it. I am sorry you are bothered by all this talk of curses, but I am sure it is nothing. Someone is playing a holiday prank on you, I wager. I will not shut down Wistmead, and I will not cancel the Harvest Festival. If that Bingo Boffin put you up to this, you can just go and tell him his plan to ruin my festival has failed, and that is all I will say about it. He refused to cancel the festival, didn't he? Of course he did. This is just the sort of day I am having. Why, I saw Fosco just now, and I told him we should probably get ready to leave Wistmead, and do you know what he did? He yelled at me and stamped his feet. He has always been one of my favorite cousins, but he raised his boy at me and put me right out of sorts. Something is not right. This is quite unlike Fosco, and I think the curse may be to blame. What is going on here, Beriathan? Mark my words, there is more to this than we know. The curse of Eerie Acres is real, and it has affected some of the hobbits here already. There can be no mistaking it. We have to get to the bottom of this business, Beriathan, and find a way to combat this curse before it becomes too late. What we need is a clue, or better yet, more than one. Bingo snaps his fingers. Maybe we have one. You said that the writing on the sign you found has been crossed out with red paint and someone had written Eerie Acres? What words did this mysterious vandal seek to replace? Eerie Acres, you said? Well, that is one place to start. We need to find out anything we can about a hobbit named Cleary, and perhaps we will learn what happened to his homestead for it to be known as Eerie Acres. It may be a long shot, but there might be some record of Cleary Acres at a town hall in Delvin. Consult with Major Whitfoot and you might learn something useful. I will stay here and keep an eye out for anything suspicious. Good luck to us both, Beriathan. Alright, so for that trip I think it's better to map to Bree. Western Bree, that is. From there we will take the swift travel to Delvin, and that's gotta be faster. Wait for this to finish loading. Yes, and the music stops, but not the sound effects. That is creepy. Spirit of the season, I guess.
How can I be of service?
So, the Shire. I mean, if Hobbiton had a swift travel option from... If there was a swift travel option from Hobbiton to Delvin, I wouldn't be doing this. Because if you stop to think about it, it's really Really funny, you travel to Brit to travel back to the Shire. But it's faster, so... there's that. Let us look for the meteor.
Hello there.
Hello, hello! How are you enjoying the Harvest Festival this year? Have you found the time to head over to Wistmead for the new activities there? I understand Warlord Goldworthy has really outdone himself, and there are many fun games to play and delicious treats to enjoy. I was about to make my way there to sample some of the offerings for myself, but I will of course take the time to help you with whatever you need, so long as you make it quick, Beriathan. A hobbit named Cleary. Is that used as a first name or as a surname? Well, I can say it makes a difference because neither case rings a bell. I have no memory of either. When did you say this Cleary lived in the Shire? You didn't. If he is an old resident, it could be some belongings of his have ended up in the Matham house. You could ask Brombart if he's seen anything belonging to a Cleary. I have given more than enough thought to this matter, and it seems well settled to me. Sorry I could not be of more help, but I need to be going if I am to sample some of the food platters at Wistmead. Good day to you. Okay, so much like the previous questline in here, the tales to curl the hair on your toes, this can be a quite lengthy questline for the very same reasons. There is a lot of text in here, especially on the next stage of the quest. You'll see in just a moment. But yeah, we really need to
Hello there.
optimize our path here. Cleary, eh? I don't think I know of any hobbits by that name in the Shire, although it does sound familiar for some reason. It strikes me as being a name from many years ago, perhaps when I became keeper of the Matham house as a young hobbit, but that was long ago, and if I then saw Mathams labeled with the name Cleary, they certainly have been long since distributed or buried beneath other more recent items. Cleary, Cleary, Cleary. No, I can't say I know of anyone with that name. Perhaps you could check with the postmaster. His occupation requires that he have a thorough knowledge of hobbit names and addresses, and if anyone knows a Cleary in the Shire, he is just a hobbit who will do so. Postmaster Proudfoot can usually be found outside the quick post, right near the town hall. I don't understand why they sent us to the Matham house if the postman is right where we were. Sometimes the game just likes to do a lot of turns.
It's been a foul day, it has.
You are looking for a Cleary. Dare I hope that you seek word of one Halson Cleary? This is an unexpected joy, Beriathan. At last! I thought this day would never come, and I would go to my grave with this task unfulfilled. One more disappointer in a long line of shame postmasters. That is not to be! The mail shall last be delivered. When I first came to work at delivering the mail, when I was just a young hobbit, old Ned Harwood, the postmaster, showed me the ropes. It took me a few weeks to learn the ins and the outs of the quick post, and I never forgot his lessons. One day, he took me down to the basement and showed me a box of old envelopes. "These letters ain't ever been delivered, Hugo," he said to me. "But my old boss told me we weren't to throw them away. Could be one day we'll find out who to deliver them, and when that day comes the quick post will truly have earned a fine reputation, even if it puts the lie to its name." Well, Ned passed on not long after that, and I took a vow to keep those undelivered letters safe until my own time was up or the intended recipient came to claim them. It seems to me you might be the closest persons we're likely to get to Halson Cleary, Beriathan. If you are willing to follow me, I will show you these stacks of undelivered letters and you can decide what to do with them. Let me know. Alright, so yeah, this is the part of the quest that really takes a lot of time. Follow me, Beriathan. I can still hardly believe that someone has come in search of those letters after all this time. I'm stuck with the postmaster. Alright, I have emptied the box of old letters onto the table in the basement. You are welcome to look through them and see if there is anything important. Now remember, this is highly unusual. We at the Quick Post do not advocate looking through people's mail, but these letters are so old there should be no harm in it. This way, Beriathan, this way. Lead the way, Hugo. Mind the steps, they can be treacherous if you are not used to them. A map of Rovanion? What is a map of Rovanion doing here? Apologies for the mess. Well, a map of the Shire, that I can believe. We are more organized than we seem, I assure you. Alright, the letters are there for you. I will return in a few minutes. Is that a ruin in Regia? God, where are all these paintings waiting here? And a task board! God, I hadn't realized this place was so full of details. A map of Anuminas. And it's inverted. Here we have a map of the Shire. Okay, that I understand, but map of Rovanion, a map of Anuminas. This place is weird. Anyway, here are the letters we came looking for. So here's the first one. Dear Mr. Cleary, I hope I am not intruding, but I wish to write you this note of thanks. I had a delightful visit with you, and I am already looking forward to ours of next week. As I promised, I will bring some fresh produce from my father's garden. You will not believe the crunch of our carrots, they are truly something. When next I visit, I will help you clean the weeds out of your own garden. I know it sounds like a lot of work, but I find gardening to be very rewarding. Very sincerely yours, Wistmead. Let us read the next letter. Dear Mr. Cleary, thank you once again for another lovely visit. I hope you don't feel too badly about what your neighbors have been saying. They seem a poor lot, mean-spirited and unwelcoming. Pay no heed to their insults, and I will not either. Looking forward to our next visit, Wistmead. We're gonna read the third letter, but in case you're wondering why I am on first person mode, it's just that I find that reading these letters in third person can be... It's harder, because you have here the frame of the door. So let's go back. Dear Mr. Cleary, this winter has been very bad, hasn't it? I am sorry to tell you that weather must keep me at home. I cannot visit this week. But I promise to bring some soap and towels with me when next I visit. I will scrub away the mean things your neighbors wrote on your fence in no time. Warm regards, even in the cold, Wistmead. Alright, so this should be the fourth letter, I presume. Dear Mr. Cleary, has it already been 2 months? I cannot believe it, but I know it is so. I have never seen snow like this. It began as a winter's lark, but now... I am sorry I have not been able to visit. There is no sign of the weather's improvement, and my family worries deepen every day. I promise I will see you as soon as the winter ends. Waiting to see the sun again. Ivy Redsmith. Next letter. Dear Mr. Cleary, they say this terrible winter might soon be done, though they have said this before. I hope this time they are right, for it has taken its toll on my family and on my friends. Our food is nearly gone. They say it will be a time of famine unless something can be done. Do not think I am being forward, but I am worried for you, Halson. Your home was in no state to weather such a winter as we have had. I hope your neighbors at last show you kindness. Could they have given you shelter, shared their food, and found warmth in their hearts for you? I hope they have. They would be cruel hobbits indeed if they have not. Are my letters being delivered? I have heard no word from you for more than a year, Halson. You could not possibly have stayed in your home this whole time. Could you? Worried, hungry, and afraid for you. Your dear friend, Ivy Redsmith. You pulled up the last of the letters and returned it to its envelope. How did it go? What can I tell you? What did you find out from those letters, Beriathan? Did you learn anything of use? You briefly describe some of what Ivy Redsmith wrote to Halson Cleary, and as your tale progresses, Hugo's eyebrows furrow and he strokes his chin, deep in thought. These letters are indeed very old. It seems to me that Ivy and Halson lived during the time of the Long Winter, which gripped the Shire more than 250 years ago. That winter was the longest ever recorded, and it was followed by the Days of Dearth, a period of famine and unhappiness the like of which has never been seen again. It is said that many hobbits died during the winter and the food shortage that followed. I hope that fate did not befall Ivy or Halson, but if there are no further letters, it seems likely they came to sad ends. I wonder why these letters were never delivered. The hobbits of the Quick Post must have had their hands full just trying to survive the long winter, but still, I would have expected them to make an effort, at least before it became clear the winter was worse than usual. It does strike me as somewhat odd that the letters that predate the snows were not delivered. Have we gotten to the bottom of the mystery? It seems to me that we have only uncovered more questions. Alright, at least now we have some idea of what is going on.
How rude!
It is highly unusual for letters such as those to not have been delivered, Beriathan. We run a respectable post here, and I would have said we always have done, but those undelivered letters seem to cast some doubt on it, to my shame and that of my predecessors. Why would those letters not be delivered? At any rate, we do not keep records of home ownership at the Quick Post, but there is a small chance that someone might know the state of the Cleary farmhouse, even if knowledge of its one-time resident has been lost during the ensuing years. That was so long ago. I speak of Clem Underhill, the escrow broker here in Delvin. He may know if the deed to the Cleary farmhouse has ever changed hands, and if the land was sold, he might tell you the name of the current owner, if there is one.
Is there something I can do for you?
The Cleary farmhouse, you say? Oh, that goes back quite a long way, almost 300 years if I remember alright. The records from those days are rather incomplete, but there is a deed for a parcel of land in that name. It is a wooded lot, yes? I have had no cause to go out there, but the description makes it sound quite deep into the forest, near Wallary Goldworthy's new cleared field of Wistmead, isn't it? That is an interesting coincidence, since the field has only recently been put to use after being left alone for so long. There have been no transactions relating to that parcel, so I expect if it was owned by Cleary once, then it must be owned by a Cleary still. A descendant surely, although that is a long time for anyone to stay in one place without interacting with his neighbors. That is no way to live, not for any respectable hobbit. It must do you some harm surely, to see only the faces of your family and no others. And if you live by yourself, with no kin around you, why? Imagine it! And who would take care of you in your twilight days, until finally your last day arrives and you meet it alone? Clem shivers suddenly. Mayhap it is just the time of year, but thinking about this sends a chill down my spine and raises the hairs on my feet. It sounds like a spooky harvest festival story to me, and not something that could happen to real folk in the Shire. I cannot say as I like it, Beriathan. I hope I was a help to you, and now I would like to think no more of these troubling thoughts. Alright. We'll need to take Limbot and ride to Hobbiton, it seems. You can see the location of this in the game map is really far away. So yeah, you cannot guide yourself with a quest tracker for this, but yeah, the ride to Hobbiton is just short and pleasant one. So we're gonna do just that. Especially, what time is it? The Shire in the morning. What else could you ask for? Look at these beautiful fields, the farmlands, the hill. I mean, and while we get there, I'd also like to take the time to talk about how I think. I mean, it's a really cool detail what the devs did with this quest, and this is usually the things in which they shine the most. Taking just a line from the book and being able to create a whole story for it. Because the long winter is only mentioned, as far as I remember, in the prologue of The Lord of the Rings. How the waters of the river are frozen, how the wolves came from the north. And with just that detail they are able to extrapolate that to another thing and create a whole new story, like what happens when hobbits are faced with such harsh winters. Of course there was a lot of famine, of course many of them died, and now you can create a whole new story from that. I think it's such a little detail, but it's a minor detail when you are talking about this quest. It could perfectly have been done without the long winter, it's what I mean. But they still did it. And that makes it feel closer to the story of Middle-earth, to the history of Middle-earth, by taking such a small detail and incorporating that into their own story. So that's great. And you see, it was a short ride. So now let us take the pony once again to Wistmead and tell Bingo what we have discovered about this mystery. I don't think you're gonna like it. At last you have come back, Beriathan. Bosco yelled at me again, and this time he had the support of several of his brothers. This is so unlike them. What did you learn in Delvin? Did you find out anything about Eerie Acres or about the curse? You explained to Bingo what you learned about Halson Cleary and the parcel of land he once owned, not far from Wistmead and the Hobbit Knots. It all makes sense to me now. The spectral vision you saw in the Bindwood Wood must be related in some way to Halson Cleary, and somehow he managed to put a curse on the Shire. None but one will laugh when all is done. That must refer to the ghost of Halson Cleary, scorned and forgotten by his neighbors. In fact, that may very well be why the Boffin boys are so uncharacteristically angry. The ghostly haunt has affected them without their knowing, and the close proximity of Wistmead to the Cleary farm has inflamed their tempers. Are you up for another adventure, Beriathan? I have the perfect hobbit in mind to go with you. If there is a spectre hunt in the Cleary farmhouse, you need to be prepared to weather some frightening operations, Beriathan. Who better to take with you than my cousin Dinodas? He is not frightened of anything and will be best suited to adventure with you through the misty forest to the Eerie Acres, no matter what the hunt brings. You would disbelieve a ghost right to its face, and I think his clear head might be the secret to dispelling this curse. I will not hear another word about it. Find Dinodas by the fire here in Wistmead, and I look forward to your successful return. What is going on, Beriathan? Why do you have that look on your face? You explain Bingo's idea that a ghost is responsible for the haunting in Wistmead, and that he wants you and Dinodas to travel through the woods to the Cleary farm to dispel the curse. Dinodas laughs, but then his smile drains away. You're serious? Oh no, Beriathan, is there no way to get out of this? I shared my secret to you in confidence. I do not fear nothing, I fear everything. But if I tell Cousin Bingo the truth, he will know my secret and I will be revealed as a liar. But if I do not tell him, I will have to brave the spooky forest and risk the ghostly curse. This is terrible. There is nothing for it, I suppose. The path is foggy, so you should pick up this torch and use it to light the way. I will be right behind you, but I am not happy about it. Not at all. Here's the torch. And now, with the torch in hand, we can travel through this road again. I do not like this spooky forest, not one bit. Let's see about the spectre and get out of here as quick as we can. This was a bad idea and I regret it already. Let's turn around and tell Bingo we didn't find anything. What do you say, Beriathan? I know he's depending on us, but he doesn't have all the information, does he? He thinks I don't believe in ghosts, and not only that, he thinks that will be an advantage to us on this endeavor. But he's mistaken. Won't my belief in haunts and specters and ghostly apparitions serve as an even worse disadvantage? Oh, fine. We can keep going, but I am not happy about it. Not happy about it at all. I suppose we have to keep going, Beriathan. Yeah, let us do this. The faster we move, the sooner we're done with this. Do you hear that? Oh, maybe it was my imagination. Is that a farmhouse? It looks like no one has lived here for a long time. Eerie Acres. You'd better check it out, Beriathan. I'll wait here. So we need to check the front, behind, and both sides of the farmhouse. So here in the front, the door is locked and barred and cannot be opened from the side. No one rests upon this side porch, if anyone ever did. There in the back, the forest encroaches upon the rear of the farmhouse. The door to the cellar appears to be unlocked. What did you find over here, Beriathan? Oh, a cellar door. Brrr. Well, the door to the cellar is locked, so I guess we'd better turn around and go back home. What's that? The door is unlocked? Oh dear, oh dear. There could be anything lurking down there, Beriathan. Do we really have to go down there? Yes, we do. Oh, I do not like this. Oh no, what is this? Can it be? It's Green Eyes from the scary story. He is gone, thank goodness. And now we should go too. Onward, I guess. way through. Oh no, what? Now what? Do you hear that? Longo Proudfoot trapped in his larder. What a terrible fate. Will that happen to us, Beriathan? Will we be trapped here forever? Oh, dearie me, we cannot think like that, but must push ahead anyway. I don't like this one bit, Beriathan. I don't see anything out of the ordinary now. Oh no, what's this? These fish are not really here, are they? This reminds me of that scary story, the one with autograph. It sends a shiver down my spine. It is gone, just like the others. Let us keep going, Beriathan. What's the way now? It seems... this way? What manner of cellar is this? I feel eyes upon us, Beriathan. Eyes. Right here. Well, go on then, Spirit. Let's see what travel vision you have for us. Nothing, eh? Ah. I think we may be through the worst of it, Beriathan. This house must have already run out of frights for us. Alright, so we gotta continue. I charge forward with newfound courage. Another door. There's... you can go ahead, Beriathan. I will catch my breath and meet you at the top. Alright. Okay, so this is the carpenter, the woodworker. Unveiled wood, remember? This is also another thing I like about this instance, how it comes back to the scary stories. There is something peculiar about the stairs. The scary stories that we told. Which one is it? You mean a spirit? On the horizon? What? On the gates of Moria. The Green Dragon. What is this, like a map of Ravanian once again? Rohan. I think that's Rohan. There is something most peculiar about the stairs. What? What was that? Yeah, these ruins of Eregion, but I don't know what's the relation with that. And finally, the door. Finally, I have to say, Beriathan, I am not sure how all these stairs fit inside the farmhouse. It looked quite a bit smaller on the outside, didn't it? Pox and ghosts and specters, why can't things be just as they appear? I suppose we have to keep going. Maybe the next trick will be that the spooky building is actually not as scary or as haunted as it appears. Here's hoping. Oh, I don't like this Beriathan. Sudden gust of wind. My torch went out. Hello? Are you awake, sir? Oh dear, I think this fellow is dead. Is this Halson Cleary? Who has disturbed my vigil? Are you the ghost of Halson Cleary? Found by my neighbors. Left alone. Left to die. The time has come to levy my curse upon them. Stop right there! I did something in Beriathan, and I decided I could not let you and young Dinodas face this danger alone. So I set my misgivings aside and prepared to follow the two of you. And don't you know it, but my other cousins had much the same idea. Something about the spirit story strikes me as quite suspicious. I think we should get to the bottom of it, and at once. I don't believe you are Halson Cleary at all. I've read a number of scary stories to celebrate the season. And that is simply not how otherworldly spirits behave. No, you are something else. You are well read for one of the Hall Dwellers. I think you will find us quite a surprising folk. I am the Skulking Ire, and I speak for he who no longer can. Halson Cleary died years ago, hated by his neighbors. They called him eerie and off-putting and strange. They mocked him, they insulted him. His rage and his hate drew me here. He died in this very chair, and no one wept for him. You are wrong, Spirit. You say Halson Cleary had no friends? I have proof that says otherwise. Beriathan, catch! He tosses a satchel of envelopes to you, and you grab it from the air. At long last, deliver the mail. Alright. But first... Hobbits, faith in the spirit is sight that it's really worth preserving. Alright. Dear Mr. Cleary, I hope I am not intruding, but I wish to write you this note of thanks. I had a delightful visit with you, and I am already looking forward to ours of next week. As I promised, I will bring some fresh produce from my father's garden. You will not believe the crunch of our carrots. They are truly something. When next I visit, I will help you clean the weeds out of your own garden. I know it sounds like a lot of work, but I find gardening to be very rewarding. Very sincerely yours, Ivy Wistmead. Dear Mr. Cleary, thank you once again for another lovely visit. I hope you don't feel too badly about what your neighbors have been saying. They seem a poor lot, mean-spirited, and unwelcoming. Pay no heed to their insults, and I will not either. Looking forward to our next visit. Maybe Redsmith. Dear Mr. Cleary, this winter has been very bad, hasn't it? I am sorry to tell you the weather must keep me at home. I cannot visit this week. But I promise to bring some soap and towels with me when next I visit. I will scrub away the mean things your neighbors wrote on your fence in no time. Warm regards, even in the cold. Ivy Redsmith. Dear Mr. Cleary, has it already been 2 months? I cannot believe it, but I know it is so. I have never seen snow like this. It began as a winter's lark, but now... I am sorry, I have not been able to visit. There is no sign of the weather's improvement, and my family is worse deepening every day. I promise I will see you as soon as the winter ends. Waiting to see the sun again. Ivy Redsmith. No, stop this nonsense at once. Enough. The long winter has been like none the Shire had ever seen. Hobbits died of hunger and cold, even among their friends and their families. Ivy Redsmith wanted to help Halson Cleary, but the winter prevented it. This changes nothing. Halson Cleary was hated by his neighbors. They whispered cruel things about him, and they let him die. His rage drew me here. Yes, you said. I have been thinking about that. There are places in the world where evil spirits dwell. Marigold has told me quite a lot about some of them. I have. Such spirits make the land more like themselves, just by being there. You strike me as a barrow-down sort of chap. No. I think you left the Barrow-downs and settled here at Eerie Acres. But I think you came here before you said you did. What does it matter, Hole Dweller? It matters. It matters because I think it was your presence that caused Holson's neighbors to dislike him. I say it was not. What did you say your name was? The Skulking Ire? You're more like a skulking liar. Are you not afraid of me? I'm not. You arrived and Halson's neighbors felt uneasy. They knew something was not quite right about Eerie Acres. But they didn't know what it was. It was you. It was you the whole time. This does not change anything. Olson Cleary died. He died alone, with only me for company. He did, knowing this won't bring him back. But if I could tell him that he was missed, I would. I would tell him that even when he felt most alone, there were still hobbits who cared. Stay back. Did Halson think you were a friend? Did he suspect you were to blame for his solitude? Leave me be. No, I think you are the one who needs to leave. Hobbits won't fall for your tricks any longer. And take your curse with you. The Skulking Ire is defeated, Beriathan. He won't be bothering us anymore, not if he knows what's good for him. Now that he is gone, I expect hobbits at Wistmead will no longer feel the effect of his presence. It is not soon enough if you ask me, but better late than not at all. I wish we could have done more to help Halson Cleary. His is a sad story, and while I am glad to have at last put an end to the villainy of the Skulking Ire, we are much too late to help poor departed Mr. Cleary. Better late than never, did I say? It is hard to be later than this. 200 years gone, but still I hope he finds some rest in it. I should like to make arrangements to bury him. I shall inquire with the mayor, and perhaps the quick post can be made to foot the bill. Had they delivered Ivy Redsmith's letters, some measure of pain might have been avoided. No, I will not judge postmasters long gone. The Skulking Ire have had a hand in the dereliction of their duties. I think Halson Cleary should like to be buried in his garden. We will set Ivy's letters with him, and may he find peace at last with the memory of her. Did you see that, Beriathan? Tolkien liar, I called him. Oh, if only Zelanding had been here to see my incredible bravery and courage. You'll tell her, won't you? It's funny, I was frightened when we came to the forest, and then again when we arrived at the spooky farmhouse getting within, I was beside myself with terror when you told me the door to the cellar was unlocked, and each new vision we beheld as we made our way through the Cleary farmhouse increased my horror tenfold. But when it came right down to it, when we confronted the spectre and so many of my brothers and sisters were beside me, well, things didn't seem quite as scary anymore. How very strange. Even so, I look around me now and the spookiness begins to creep back, and I tell you I am ready to go. Yes, let's sleep while we have the opportunity, Beriathan. What's the holdup? Let's go, Beriathan, okay. Well, this has been a Harvest Festival to remember, Beriathan, and no mistake. I am glad we have managed to dispel the curse and send the Skulking Ire packing. I wish Halson Cleary could know what we did for him, but of course, that is impossible. Perhaps it is enough that we remember this one thing, easy enough as it is to forget. We should strive to be kind to our neighbors in every season. Hey presto, it just occurred to me that some of the spooky stories I can think of come from our failure to do that, this one included. The curse of the Eerie Acres has been dispelled, and now we can safely enjoy the Harvest Festival without fear, or perhaps with just the right amount of fear, if you know what I mean. Hobbit-sized spooks and scares are more to my liking and to that of my cousins, I think. Thank you for all the help, Beriathan. Now I believe I will turn my attention from investigating ancient curses to another matter, looking into these spider pies everyone is talking about. Very well, so this was the curse of the Eerie Acres, and it seems, well, at least for now, this is the end of Bingo's quests for the Harvest Festival, and I gotta say, I enjoyed this second part a lot more than I did the first time I did it with my other tune. And I think it has a lot of really cool details, especially towards the end when you get to see all those pieces for the spooky stories from last year come to life. That was a great detail, especially now that we have read them all. We read them all in the previous episode, and now seeing them come to life in this one was a really cool little detail. And what was Minas Tirith doing in there? That, I don't know. But that, I think, can make a Citadel Guard a little bit homesick. I cannot wait until we get back home. So, that will come later, anyways. For the time being, this has been this episode of Tales of Middle-earth. Join me next time. I don't know yet where we will be going, but we will be exploring more cool stories and locations. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye, my friends.